Welcome to episode 32 of LearnerBurn.tech, where in 5 minutes or less we promise you will learn something useful to master your technology. My wife's grandfather, Jacob, is the best storyteller I've ever heard in person. He was an avid reader. Considering he grew up illiterate, yet died a savant, he knew a thing or two, especially about history. I have him on video telling us in our native Low German the story of Christopher Columbus from a perspective we never learned in history classes. In 1503, Columbus was marooned in Jamaica. He had beached his last 2 caravels, and for 6 months he had convinced the indigenous to feed his crew, but their generosity was clearly coming to an end. So Columbus happened to have an almanac of astronomical tables covering the years 1475 to 1506, and it turned out there was an upcoming eclipse. He used this information to his advantage, knowing the indigenous could be tricked, and here's how he did it. Columbus requested a meeting with the tribe leader, Cacique, and told them that his god was angry with the way the locals were treating Columbus and his men. Columbus then informed Cacique that the sign from his god of his displeasure would be to have the full moon be inflamed with wrath. The lunar eclipse and the red moon appeared right on schedule. The indigenous people were incredibly frightened. In fact, Ferdinand, a son of Columbus, wrote this of the people, quote, "With great howling and lamentation, they came running from every direction to the ships, laden with provisions, praying the admiral to intercede by all means with God on their behalf, that he might not visit his wrath upon them." Columbus then dramatically entered his cabin to pray for the locals. He timed his hourglass to 48 minutes to coincide with the end of the total eclipse. He reappeared and told the indigenous people that they would be forgiven. And when the moon began to show itself again, he told them his God had, in fact, forgiven them. So what does this story have to do with Technology Podcast? Well, just one thing. Lack of knowledge leaves us vulnerable. And in the case of technology, don't be left vulnerable. See you again next week.